Hey gang, it's Lenny for Transcending Focus, where we motivate, innovate, and educate entrepreneurs just like you. Quick little story is that I've already recorded this video twice and didn't hit the record button twice. So I'm gonna have to do this one again. We're gonna get kicking off here. This is logistics. This is me being completely all goaled out. I've done I think 6 videos talking about goal setting and all this fun stuff. You may notice that in this video I'll have my phone out. It has to do with the fact that I've written a lot of notes with regards to this logistic video because there are so many steps. I don't want to leave one out because if you leave out even a single step, it kind of ruins the goal setting experience for you guys. And I want to make sure that I add as much value as humanly possible in this video right here. Now, this video is not about the West Coast thing. It's not about the psychology because I do believe in psychology. Of course, I studied psychology at university as well as I'm an NLP master practitioner, which is awesome. But I'm a guy also of man of action. I'm not a guy who says, we can be all touchy-feely sometimes. We need to get some shit done. And now's the time where we're no longer going to beat around the fucking bush when it comes to goal setting. We are going to set our goals. We're going to write the goals. I'm going to show you how to write the goals. We're going to write the goals, and we're going to start our lives. We're going to, by the end of this 10-minute video, you should now know exactly how to do all the steps in goal setting because it's all been additive towards this video right here. So let's get going. Let's not wait any longer. It's time to go. First step is that you want to have a notebook. I don't want you to be writing your goal setting on a computer or on a phone. There's a process that we need to take on here, and it has to do with when you write something, your brain actually takes it in significantly better than when you type something. And that's a little tip with regards to learning because in an evolutionary perspective, all of us have been writing things for a lot longer than all of us have been typing something. So as a result, our brain, when we write something, remembers it way better. So when it comes to goal setting, we're going to need to program our brain and bypass our brain and do a bunch of stuff with our brain. So typing doesn't work. We need to be writing it. That's how it goes when we're doing some goal setting. So you have a notebook, and the notebook that you have should be able to be ripped out. You should be able to have pages that we want to rip out because we want to be a little bit messy in the goal setting process. And we're going to go neater and neater and neater as time goes on. But the first step is a little bit messy. We're going to take up pages here. We're going to move pages back and forth between here. So guys, have a notebook that is not used for anything else because you want to be able to rip out some pages. Pencil doesn't really matter to me. But now that you have the notebook in front of you that you can rip out pages and you have the notebook in front of you that you're not using on the computer here, what you're going to do is the first page is you're going to write at the top of the page 6 months. At the top of the second page, you're going to write 1 year. At the top of the third page, it will be 3 years. Top of the fourth page, it will be 5 years. Top of the sixth page or fifth page, I can't remember anymore, is 10 years. Those are your timeline pages. So 6 month, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year. And each should be a separate page. Don't just try to save paper here. It's not going to happen. I apologize for those people who are environmentally sensitive. We're going to have a bunch of pages that we're going to use here. So 6 month, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year. And then flip the pages. Okay, leave those behind. Now we're going to write down all of our categories. Remember our categories that we talked about to help foster some thought? At the top of the next few pages, you're going to have each one of your categories that you're going to have. My categories, I wrote them down to make sure that I don't forget, is relationships, finance, work, things and experiences, and education. Those are my 5 categories that I always use when goal setting. You can use them too. Don't use less. If you want to add more, but don't use less than that, which again, relationships, finance, work, things and experiences, and education. That's what you want to be writing down in your goals. And each will have its own separate page again. We don't want to share pages and have a mishmash of goals. We're going to be segmented in our brain and thinking. So now that we have that written, we're not going to write on those 6 month pages. We're not going to write on the timeline pages just yet. We're only going to focus on the category pages. TV should be off. Radio should be off. You should be sequestered away to make sure that no one can bother you during this goal setting experience time. If you want to have some music playing, great. But now you need to get yourself into peak physical state. We talked about that again on a previous video, which is your brain and your physicality needs to be in peak performance state. So now you got to go do that. So now that you're in peak performance state, however you do that, whether it's a Superman pose, dancing around, whether it's doing the power move that Tony Robbins talks about, whatever it is, you need to be in peak performance state. And once you are, then we're going to set a timeline on how long you can write your goals for. So for the relationship area or any of the categories that you have 3 minutes for each category. That's all you have. 3 minutes for each category that you're going to move forward onto. That's it. The reason we only have 3 minutes for relationships, only have 3 minutes for things, we only have 3 minutes for education, is because I need you to write down your goals as quickly as humanly possible. I don't want you to take a long time to write down those goals. You can be as messy as you want. You can state them incorrectly that first time. But what you're going to do is you're just going to write down things as quickly as humanly possible for those 3 minutes. Why? Because your brain, as I mentioned already, has a limiter inside of it, mentioned in a previous video. And that limiter may pull you back. Make sure that you don't have the vision that you want to have. Doesn't allow you to dream the way you want to dream. So we need to work fast to bypass that process. So we're going to write things down as quickly as possible so that that part of the brain actually gets the hell out of town. We're going to overload it in essence. So by using speed, we're going to write down everything we can in 3 minutes and write it as quickly as humanly possible. Now that you have 5 pages, in my eyes, because that's what the categories I had, 5 pages of incredibly beautiful goals, maybe it looks really messy, but it's completely robust. And 15 to 20 minutes later, you're done writing those goals. What we're going to do now is we need to categorize each one of those goals as it pertains to a timeline. So prior to importing it into the other pages, I want you to write the number associated with how long it's going to take you to achieve that goal. Write down and push yourself forward, meaning that if you thought something was going to take you 10 years, make it 5 years. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Great things never happen in your comfort zone. So guys, push yourself forward. If you said in the first year I want to have a relationship, well, make it 6 months, right? Make it 6 months and write 6 months down there. So for each one of the goals in the relationship status area, in the education area, whatever it is, there should now be a number pertaining to how long it's going to take you to achieve that goal. Once you have that written down, what you're going to do is you're going to tear out all those pages so that you have them, that you can move them over, and now you're going to write in your notebook on the 6-month, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and 10-year pages. And for all the goals that you have, whether they be categorized as a relationship, whatever it is, you're going to put them down in that 6-month area, or the 6-month goals. And you're going to write extremely neatly, and you're going to state the goal in the exact way you should, which is to have or I will. That's how you start off all goal setting. To have, I will. Once you have all those things written down there, and write neatly and slowly this time around. Other times we were bypassing. Now when we're writing it in the timelines, we are programming. So we're putting information into our brains. So to do that, we're now programming our brains appropriately. So now we write it slowly and clearly and tightly. And now our goals should be looking exactly as we want them to look. And each section should be represented in each one of the timelines. And now that you've done that, you have the sections, you have the timelines, you have everything that you want to have written down, you have beautiful, clean goals. Do you think we're done yet? Not even close. You're going to pick 3 goals from each timeline. 6-month timeline, 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year. Pull them out, and you're going to write a paragraph as to why it's important to you to achieve each one of those goals. And that needs to be descriptive. And when I say descriptive, it should be talking about your senses. When I achieve this thing, it will make me feel this good. So I have used the car example many times. When I have the BMW M4 car, I'm going to drive to work and feel fantastic and feel incredibly confident and excited to get into that car and get to work. And when I'm sitting in my office, I'm going to have additional confidence knowing that that car is sitting outside in the parking lot. Whatever it is you want to say it. Okay? Don't worry, no one's judging you here. And you should have these reasons. They should be absolutely rich for each one of those 3 goals for each one of the timelines. So for the 6-month timelines, for the 1 year timelines, you should have 3. And it goes on and on and on. It's right exactly why it's so important to you to achieve those goals and what will happen should maybe you don't achieve that goal. Now that you've done that, you need to take a step because you've now set these goals and now it's about action. Taking real action to achieve and create the life that you want. So now we're going to create an action that must be taken right away. Not tomorrow, not a week from now, to achieve each one of those 3 goals for each one of those timelines. Taking a step. You're not going to achieve the goal right away, but I want you to take an incremental step at the sight of writing the goals. You never leave a goal setting experience or time without actually taking action, because you are a doer. You are not someone who lets life happen to them. You are the one who makes life happen. So therefore, you are going to write down something, or you're actually going to take action. So great example again with your BMW M4. Let's say you wanted it. You're going to call up a dealership, book the time to actually go test drive the car. I want you to know how it feels to drive that car so that you can think about it every single day and be motivated. Guess, well, look at that. Now you have a step forward in your life. You're now taking that initial step to creating the life that you want to create. Amazing, beautiful, awesome. Are we done yet? We're still not done yet. Now, we need to actually take our goals and transpose them onto one page, whether it's a computer or whether it's a phone, whether it's a wallet-sized piece that you can keep in your wallet, but you have to keep your goals on you at all time. You can paste it to the inside of your notebook. You can put it on your phone as a picture, or actually rewrite it again. But now you have all of your goals there. And every single day, you are going to read your goals and you're going to be in peak state. Before you start your day, you must read your goals again. You must take the time, it's going to take 15 to 20 minutes every single day, and read your goals in a peak state, peak mental area, and you must visualize what it is to actually achieve those goals. You must feel it in your gut. I want you to know every single day what it's going to feel like to achieve those goals. And once you do start to achieve those goals, you'll start to see an incredibly new life. So we're still not done yet, because all of your 6-month goals that you are reading every single day, you must take one action every day to achieve your 6-month goals. And I'm going to pose a question to you right now that's somewhat rhetorical. Imagine yourself 6 months from now reading your goals every single day, envisioning what it's going to be like to achieve your goals, and taking one incremental action every single fucking day to achieve your 6-month goals. How much more likely is it you're going to start creating the life that you want? Number one. Number two, what will your psychology actually start to be after doing this process for 6 months straight and taking action for 6 months straight? Will you be better or will you be worse? And last part of the goal setting experience, now that we've done all these steps, there's so many, we wrote them out. We wrote them out a certain way with our hands. We categorized them in timelines. We categorized them in categories of what we want in our life. We then rewrote it and put it into the category section. We actually wrote reasons as to why we want to achieve them. We now wrote reasons as to what happens if we don't achieve them. We actually took an action on each one of those things. Then we wrote them again onto a one-page document. And now we're taking incremental action on the 6-month steps as well, and making sure we're programming our psychology. The last step is you need to be accountable. And what does that mean? You should share your goals with someone else who can hold you accountable to achieving those goals. Someone who's going to make you feel real shitty when you don't do your work, and someone who's going to make you feel fucking fantastic when you do achieve your goals, who's going to see you achieving your goals. And that is the Transcending Focus goal setting experience. I think it's probably one of the best goal setting programs out there. What we've done over the last few days is just set you up, but right here is you see it all in action. You have to write your goals really fast to bypass your brain, and then rewrite them really slowly to program your brain. So we took everything out, we removed it, and then of course we put it back in really slowly and methodically. And then we were in peak state every single day for the next 6 months. You will be a completely different person. So I'm all goaled out. I'm done with the goal setting stuff. I want to take a break from it. Next week we'll work on some sales stuff, because it's all about making you a better business person, a better entrepreneur, and that's what we did this week. So I hope you have a great weekend. Hope you have a fantastic time this week. Lenny signing off for Transcending Focus.